Welcome to episode 254. Should I get my real estate license in multiple states? I'm your host, Sean Patrick Maloney. Thanks for joining me this week. Guys, this week's episode's an exciting one. I want to talk to you guys and tell you it's not an easy cut and dry type of thing. I'm going to tell you the things to think about, what to do, what not to do, and how you can find success being a multi-state agent, or how you could find success being the same agent you are today. Well, let's get started. Make sure to pound that subscribe button, tell your friends about this great free podcast, and check out Real Facts on realestate.com. Oftentimes, agents get offered a deal in another state, and they catch themselves in this moment. Should I get licensed in this other state? I can make an entire commission. A commission could even be, say, $10,000 on a $400,000 sale. That's a very tempting amount of money to simply go through a few-hour class and get a license in another state. That may be a great time in life to get a license in another state, but one of the things that happens after that transaction's over, the person gets to stewing and they start thinking to themselves, I can grow my business by having this other state. That's kind of a tough thing to think about. Now, there's lots of variables here to think. If you live close to a state line, you might have to have another license. Like if you're down in Massachusetts, you're down by the Rhode Island border, you might find people bouncing back and forth, Rhode Island being a little more affordable than Massachusetts, so you might end up working both sides of the relationship. But if you live in the central part of Massachusetts, you might find yourself driving over an hour just to get to the Rhode Island border. Well, that might work at the beginning of your career when you're not that busy. As you get busy, that might be too far to drive and you might be heading in the wrong direction. So one of the things I talk to agents about often is instead of focusing on expanding your market area, take a focus on how much real estate transacts in your local area and figure out how to get a bigger market share of that. There's an enormous amount of money to be made and an enormous amount of time to be wasted in traveling. One of the things you forget as a real estate agent is you're not paid by the hour, you're paid in commissions. So you need to think of ways to work in actionable steps that are going to be revenue generating type steps. You don't earn revenue by driving an hour or two to an appointment. You earn revenue by spending an hour or two into the idea of lead generation, lead conversion, and creating new buyers and sellers alike. Spending endless amounts of time driving your car or spending time trying to learn how a different state works is time that could have been deployed to those things that we know gain you business. Oftentimes, the highest suggestion I have would be maybe you get the license when you get that easy deal. I don't know. I don't know your time frames. Maybe it doesn't work. The referral-based business, the idea of sending an agent a listing or sending an agent a buyer and then paying you a certain percentage of that back to you tells you, okay, I can make money for having sent this deal, but I also can then keep my time available to double dip on this same exact time. So if that listing or that buyer would have taken you 10, 20, 30 hours, you're still going to be making X percent. A lot of times a quarter or more percent, right? There's no standard, but we see a lot of times agents are making that much money. So say 2,500 out of 10,000 or say 3,500 out of 10,000, whatever your agreement is for that you're able to sell. Now you've already made that and you had that same amount of time available to resell to a new buyer or seller because you're not working the deal, you're working with a referral agent. The referral is a great way to avoid being licensed in multiple states. Now, the greedy person in all of us, the person who sees things as finite and that there's only so much and that there's really a lack of enough in the world and they don't see abundance, right? They see that scarcity mindset. They try to get their license in every state they're going to buy property in. They try to get, and they think they're protecting themselves by skipping over paying an agent. Well, if you're a real estate agent and you really believe that it's worth skipping over a real estate agent, you probably don't do your job. And I know that might seem like an attack on you, but if you don't understand the value in hiring a real estate agent, it must mean that you don't provide value. Because I can tell you, if you're buying in Massachusetts, I can help you avoid a lot of pain. I can help you guide you towards what pricing should be. I can tell you about what local rules and regulations are. I can introduce you to the area. I can add a lot of value to your day. Contractors, other referral agreements. I can get you over to mortgage people. I can get you to attorneys. I can provide a great deal of value. Can I do that right now in Southeast Texas? No. But could I get my license there? Presumably, yes, right? So just because I can get licensed there doesn't mean I'm qualified to work there. So respect the industry for what it is. And I'm not saying you can't get licensed in multiple states. I'm just saying the idea of growing your business just by getting a multiple state license without any sort of business plan or market saturation where you're at is just a focus that you don't think there's enough. There's billions and billions of dollars of real estate in Massachusetts, hundreds of billions even, every single year passing by your hands. Whether you did it or someone else did it, it was already here. Just adding another state doesn't make you a different agent, doesn't make you better. It just makes you more time consumed and having to be everywhere. Now let's jump back to the pros. Maybe you're growing a team and you have multiple states, like say Massachusetts and Florida. They complement each other often, right? People move back and forth. You have agents down there, you have agents up here, you're the team lead, you need to have your license in multiple states. You might be the right candidate. But if you're going to invest down in another state, do you need to go get a license there? Or can you take a referral deal, pay someone 75%, take care of the deal for you, and know that, hey, you know what? I am getting value out of this because I hired the right agent. So I guess really the focus is when thinking about getting your license in multiple states, you have to ask yourself the question of why. If it's because your clients are always asking you to go back and forth, great reason to get it. If it's because your uncle bought a house in another state and you decided now I'm licensed there and I'm going to get tons of business there, think about drive times, think about costs, think about all the time consumed and think, could I be spending more time into lead generation? Could I be spending more time into nurturing the clients I already have? Could I be making it a way basically to pay attention to those revenue generating or income producing, as we call them, behaviors at work versus drive times and studying times to learn other states? Guys, I hope this helps you when it comes to thinking about getting licensed in multiple states. I personally have my Massachusetts and Rhode Island license because my agents work in both states. Will I get other licenses in the future? Yes. Did I put certain licenses on pause? Yes. Why? Because I didn't have enough time and I found myself unfocused, just like I'm sure you feel. I tried to get a Florida license for a bit and I said, you know what? I'm taking a 60-hour course. I'm doing all these different things just to do deals where I'm not even currently there. I don't have agents there. Then I have to recruit. I have to do all these things. I'm better to just continue referring my deals to Florida for the time being and enjoy the fact that I can get paid money to send people to the Sunshine State while I'm working here in Massachusetts. I hope that helps your decision, guys. Make sure to pound the subscribe button, tell everyone else about this great free podcast, and check out Real Facts on realestate.com. Talk to you next week.